If there was one film that could rival the kind of pop culture explosion that Avengers Infinity War instigated, it's the highly anticipated sequel to the Merc with a Mouth's feature film series, Deadpool 2.
Actually, that may have been me.
Oh, you're living the dreams, DP.
Yeah.
And while the ending of the film doesn't quite have people scratching their heads nearly as much as Thanos' little snap did, there's still a whole lot going on that left some fans wanting to know more. So today we're breaking down the ending and the credit scenes of Deadpool 2. Also, if it wasn't incredibly obvious by the title of this video when you clicked on it, this video's full of spoilers. Like movie ruining, plot revealing, surprise stealing spoilers. You've been warned. Deadpool 2's plot consists of DP attempting to save a boy named Russell, who, according to Cable, grows up to be a mass murderer, killing Cable's wife and child. The only way to prevent this from happening is if little Russell sees that people actually care about him, which Deadpool heroically does. Our hero, wearing one of those collars that renders his powers futile, jumps in front of Russell, protecting him from being shot, which leads to him dying. It's also worth noting that Vanessa, the love of Wade's life, died in the film, so him sacrificing himself is something that he was totally okay with. But that gets reversed when Cable travels to the future, sees that his wife and kid are still alive, and then travels back to pop a disc into Deadpool's suit, which saves his life. So what does that mean? What's gonna happen next? Well, now that we have a much more nicely pared down version of the X-Force, it seems likely that Deadpool will carry on with that. But what about Vanessa? Wade manages to go back into time in one of the post-credit scenes, and saves her, but more on that later. For context, in the comics, Vanessa Carlyle is also a member of the X-Force, working under the alias of Copycat, a mutant who has shapeshifting and mimicry powers. Whether or not Vanessa will become Copycat has been a big question for fans ever since she debuted in the first Deadpool film, and Copycat's stories in the comics hint at what kind of future the character may have in the next Deadpool film. Deadpool 2 also saw the introduction of Domino, a character who in the comics doesn't actually debut herself until much later after her first appearance. When she first appeared in New Mutants Volume 1 issue 98 back in 1991, Domino was actually Copycat in disguise, working to infiltrate the X-Force and kill Cable. Deadpool, who in the comics had briefly dated Vanessa before and broke up with her upon discovering his cancer, revealed her true identity to the X-Force, and left them all for dead when blowing up the X-Force complex. Later on, Copycat was captured by the Weapon X program and had her memory erased, and crossed paths with Deadpool again when he was recruited to kill her. He decides to warn her instead, and the two of them are hunted by Kane, resulting in her being fatally injured, dying in Deadpool's arms in Deadpool issue 59 in 2001. But later it's revealed that Deadpool's blood had made its way into her wounds, which healed her. Now let's jump forward to those post-credit scenes. The first one features Negasonic Teenage Warhead and her girlfriend Yukio fixing Cable's time travel device, which of course Deadpool gets his hands on and uses. This leads to Deadpool going back in time and stopping Vanessa from being killed, and saving Peter, one of the members of the X-Force, the cool dude on Twitter with the mustache. He does this by telling him to not help Zeitgeist. Then it goes deep down the meta rabbit hole. Deadpool jumps back to 2009, where he encounters Logan in X-Men Origins Wolverine, alongside the previous version of Deadpool that Ryan Reynolds portrayed. You know, the merc with a mouth who didn't have a mouth. Deadpool shoots this version of Deadpool and kills him. It even gets more meta when Deadpool travels back in time again to Ryan Reynolds reading the Green Lantern script, and shoots him too. And while we're at it, worth noting that there was one scene that didn't make the cut, since it didn't bode well with test audiences. Deadpool goes back in time and kills Hitler, but when Hitler was a baby in his crib. Yeah, a little dark. Killing babies just doesn't really go over well with a lot of people. There was also another post-credit scene in talks that would have featured Chris Evans reprising his role as the Human Torch from the original Fantastic Four films, and Deadpool killing him in order to fix the timeline. Between Cable going back in time and altering Deadpool's suit in order to save his life, and Deadpool fixing the timelines and saving Vanessa, there's a whole lot going on that could have some serious ramifications. If we've learned anything from movies with time travel in them, it's that messing with history can seriously muck things up for the future, and the present. So what could this mean for the next Deadpool film? Well, the most obvious answer is that Deadpool and Vanessa, both being live, are now going to be a part of X-Force, and we'll finally get to see Copycat come out of the woodwork. Fans of the comic are speculating whether or not Copycat and Domino will cross paths the way that they do in the comics. Another theory suggests that perhaps this meddling with time will be used to help justify the franchise's segue into the Disney MCU, once the rights have carried over in 2020. Nothing like some good old time travel to rectify universe-wide plot holes. That being said, it could also mean jack shit. The Deadpool films continuously act as a satirical take on the superhero genre, and the credit scenes in this film are hilarious gags. So it's very likely that assuming the credit scenes are anything more than that. They're super meta, super entertaining, but probably won't amount to any greater consequences for the characters in the franchise like they do in the MCU. But hey, we still have our fingers crossed that Vanessa will get her turn on the X-Force, regardless of whether or not she takes up the Copycat mantle. Alright, there we have it, friends. What are your thoughts on the ending of Deadpool 2? Do you guys have any theories about what will happen in the next film, or how the Deadpool franchise will be ingested into the MCU? I mean, hey, makes too much money for Disney to want to ditch it. It ain't no Fantastic Four. Let us know all of your thoughts and feels in those comments below. Now if you dug this video, hit those like and subscribe buttons, and don't forget to check out the playlist that we have up on your screen for more nerdy goodness, including the likes of Deadpool and other Marvel characters. In the meantime though, thanks for watching everybody, I'll catch you all in the next video.